will be discussing angles and their measurements. We're going to talk about, we're going to use and understand what happens when we have measurements of angles, and we're going to use algebra and the angle addition postulate. So first, let's talk about what is an angle. So as an angle is made up of two rays with a common endpoint. That common endpoint we call a vertex, okay? There are different ways to name an angle. The first is if it has an identifying number, we could call it by that number. So angle 1. Since this angle is simplified and it's only one angle in that figure, you can name it by the vertex. If there are multiple angles in the same picture, you're going to want to give a definite description, and so you would go around the figure with the vertex in the middle. That's important. You want the vertex in the middle. So we have angle CAB. Okay, angle CAB. A goes in the middle. You could also go in the opposite direction. Angle BAC. Okay, still talking about the same angle here. All right, now we have different types of angles. All right, we have acute angle that measures between 0 and 90 degrees. If it measured 0, would you even have anything? Okay, think about that. If something has a measurement of 0, is it any value? If an angle measures 90 degrees, then we call it something else. We call it a right angle. Okay, right angles are exactly 90 degrees. Remember, we talked about this in the last lesson. You have to have the marking in order to call it a right angle. All right, then we have obtuse. Obtuse angles fall between 90 and 180. Cannot be 180 degrees because then it would be a straight angle, which measures exactly 180. All right, two angles that have the same measurement are called congruent angles. All right, we have here, it's just describing. So in this illustration, I am told that both angles measure 30 degrees. Therefore, angle A is congruent to angle B. Then the measure of angle A. So M stands for the measure of the angle. So measure of angle A equals the measure of angle B. If you told that the measurements are equal, then you can say the angles are congruent. All right. Kind of talked about this with the segments, congruent segments. So same concept, except for angles. We're going to put an arc indicating which angles are congruent. And it's a matching game, just like it was with the segments. So one arc on each angle, that tells you which angles are congruent to each other. If it has two arcs, we're just saying that those two angles are congruent to each other. All right, angle addition postulate. In yesterday's lesson, we talked about segment addition postulate. So today we're talking angle addition postulate. So when you add to adjacent means connected. My classroom is adjacent to Ms. Blanchard's classroom because we share a wall, okay? So that shared side makes our rooms adjacent to each other. All right, so we have two angles here, okay? Angle ABP and angle CBP. They form the larger angle ABC. So that's what this is describing here. That's angle addition postulate. I'm adding these two angles together to create a larger angle. All right, so if I wanted to solve for x, as I've stated in the previous video, you want to make sure that you draw your figure. Okay, very, very important. Draw your figure. It helps keep yourself organized. Drawing your figure, take the information that you are given and place it on your figure. So ABC, ABC. That angle is 2x plus 10. Okay. CBD, CBD. That angle is 2x. The whole angle ABD, that is 80. Okay? So now that you have it drawn out, you're going to set up your equation and solve for x. So these two angles together make the larger angle. So it adds up to 80. So 2x plus 10 plus 2x equals 80. Right? Build your walls, separating your equation into two parts. On the left-hand side is where your variable is. You want to combine your like terms because remember, your end goal is to figure out the value of the variable, all right, the numerical value. So I'm going to combine my like terms. 2x plus 2x, 4x plus 10 equals 80, right? Move the 10 to the other side. Bring down your 4x. Divide both sides by 4. Do not turn this into a decimal, and do not, unless my math lab asks you to give a decimal answer, keep it as a fraction and do not put a mixed number. Okay, we don't do mixed numbers in high school. We stick to improper fractions if it needs to be in fraction form. So simplify, and that would be 35 over 2. And so that would be your final answer, right? And you can only put in a decimal if asked for.